Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Surprised to see me in the kitchen again? I bet a lot of you people probably weren't expecting to have a cooking stream out of all things that I have done on YouTube. You've seen me at the shows, and you've seen me elsewhere. But, yeah, it's the Lenten season. It's a Friday. That means, for those who practice Lent, means no meat today. So, I'm giving a little bit of a live tour as to show what people can expect for the Lenten cooking. And as you can see, we've got a lot of noodles here. We got about 2 pounds of elbow noodles here, and they're already cooked and they're ready to get going in this dish. And this is my grandmother's homemade mac and cheese. This is her own recipe. There's been a few tweaks here and there, mainly because my family has come to accept my version of the recipe as the official recipe. Now, one of the big things that I wanted to let you guys know for this stream is that it is a cooking and it is also a Q&A. But if you read the top message that's been pinned, sorry about that. Sports Prods give you some. Well, you watch the video or you watch the stream, and you'll find out exactly how to make this stuff for yourselves at home. I can guarantee you're gonna like it. But anyway, most of the preparation has already been done. One of the main things we still need to do is get the oven turned on. Once the oven is turned on, that thing will be able to warm up. Remember, as I said in my video, for those who aren't aware, heat the oven, whether it be gas or it be electric, because we actually got a new stove. So make sure you set it to bake on your settings, and make sure to set it for 350 degrees. So let's take care of that now. Just move everything here so everybody can get a chance to see. Alright. Ah, perfect. Look at that. Already set to 350. Let's go. Let's get all that set. Yeah, okay, Sports Prods. Okay, sure. Alright. So as I'm sure a lot of you are aware from the last video that we made this, we had some extra. So we usually have 1, 2, 3 dishes, but just in case, because I have that feeling it might happen, we're going to have a 4th dish to make sure. And as we look with our ingredients, all those who are familiar should know, you need quite a bit for this. 2 sticks of butter or margarine, make sure they're salted. Have salt, sesame seeds. We got a different blend of seasoned breadcrumbs this time. Make sure you have your milk to pour in when all of your stuff is in the bowl. Not sure why I have pepper out. I'm just going to put that away. And then with your cheeses, we've got a different blend this time because we didn't get any Parmesan, but we got the sharp cheddar as needed, mozzarella, Asiago, Fontina, and we also have Italian 5-cheese blend to sprinkle on the top. And we have a very nice little contraption here this time around. My parents actually got me this for Christmas. It's a little tumble cheese grater, you can take the cheese here, cut it into sections, and you put it on top, and you hold it, and you turn it. Now, you can take these apart because you can take the handle off, and you can take the drum out. You can take the drum so you can clean it. All parts are machine washable, I should let you know, including the little transparent cap here. But yeah, I think it's time to get started, don't you think? Yeah, like I said, sports, you can make some on your own, you know. You don't always have to come and get it from me. Now, just as a precaution, because we're going to be using sharp objects and we're going to be touching things with our hands, let's make sure that we have some gloves on for protection. And pull up those sleeves. Make sure you have a butter knife to cut. Do not be trying to cut butter with a knife like that. Only use that to cut the cheese. And still be careful when you're cutting it, because there's a lot. And for those who don't remember, make sure you use a slotted ladle when bringing in your noodles, and keep a hand underneath in case there is still some water left in them. Do a little thing for you guys. So as you'll notice, make sure that you have enough noodles in there to cover it, but not too much, like I said. You want to make sure you have everything situated as best as you can. In fact, let's move you guys a little closer, shall we? There we go. Now you guys can get a better look at things. Open those butter sticks up. And remember what I said from the video, make sure your butter slices for each layer are about 1/2 centimeter thick, no thicker. Because you want to have flavor, but you don't want to get it too much. For a bigger dish like you see here, make sure that you do at least 4 per layer. Alright? Just going to grab a napkin to wipe the butter off for each time. Then take your salt, and remember, lightly sprinkle. And then it's time to start adding the cheeses. Nice and fresh. First the cheddar, then the mozzarella. Now, with the cheeses that we're going to use here, with the Fontina Asiago, we're going to make sure that we cut them up. You'll notice there's limited space in here, so if you measure, Fontina is slightly wide, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut this and we're going to cut each of these in half to start. There we go. And then we'll cut them into quarters after that, like so. And then you just put them in the thing, and you press and hold, and then you start rotating. Each cube is basically going to be enough cheese for each layer. The Fontina is going to be the softest, so it's going to be some of the easiest to grind up and shred. Also, one drawback about using Fontina is it is going to be a little bit messy because it sticks to things. By case in point, when I pull the drum out, you see what happens. So, we'll push the inner part of the drum out. And look at that. The Fontina you can basically break apart as you wish. It's like I said, Fontina is going to be a bit mushy compared to the other cheeses, but it still works. And you can basically shred these things any way you want. Use one of these, use a hand grater, or if you want to process bigger amounts, use a food processor. I'll grab that in just a moment. Oops. For those who heard that little musical tune, that just so happens to be the oven. It is all set to go. So, once we have it ready, all of these being ready, get everything fixed up, and I'll be ready to go. Alright, so, that layer of Fontina is all set. So now, it's always difficult trying to put this back on. There we go. Oop. So now we'll put the drum back inside after we clear out the excess Fontina that is within. That's why you should use gloves with this. That way you are keeping yourselves clean while keeping the area clean. And then after with the Fontina, we're going to cut chunks out of the Asiago. Okay. So now we're going to take a chunk of Asiago, put it in, and start grinding it up. And there we go, see that? If there's a couple slabs of cheese that happen to come out of the grater, that's no big deal. Alright, so have it all even out here. And then you'll want to add your sesame seeds. Like I said, the inner layers, you want to make sure that you don't add too many because you're going to get too much crunch from there. And then after that, we're going to move back. We're going to get some more noodles going. Okay. So next to the second layer, and we start by doing another 4 slices of the butter. Take the salt. And then we move on to the cheeses once more. In case anybody is wondering why I didn't do the 5-cheese Italian yet, is because that's going to be saved for the top layer. Because there's not enough to go around on all of the layers of all these dishes. So we're going to keep that specific for the tops of each dish that we use. That done, mozzarella going on. Back to the grating. Next thing of fontina. Make sure that the thing of the Asiago is cleaned out from the last run. With the fontina, you want to squeeze less because it's so soft. But as you can see how it starts to come out like this. It'll start to spread out. Pretty fascinating, isn't it, how this can do this? Almost looks like you're making cheesy spaghetti. Alright, so it looks like we're approaching the end of that. Yeah. Alright, not so much as last time. So yeah, it all depends on the softness of the cheese that you are using here. As you can see with the Fontina, that stuff would be great for around the edges. I wouldn't say it's entirely gooey, but it's not the most solid cheese, I guess you could say. Alright, a lot faster that time, so now we'll reattach. Nope, still away. Alright, and now we're going to grab another chunk of the Asiago. And we'll start grinding it up. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And be sure to pick up whatever cheese scraps fly off onto your counter from the shredders. And I would certainly hope that everybody is also cleaning their countertop like I did. Making sure you hit it with a nice sponge, and then you dry it off thoroughly. All clear there. And then you just pick up the extra cheese and you pile it on top. Back to the sesame seeds. Alright, so that's second layer done, fully intact. Ah, welcome aboard, Jake. Glad to see ya. Glad you were able to make it, my friend. And now we'll add the final layer of the noodles. Alright. Final layer of this one. And the salt, light sprinkle. And then we move on to the cheeses. Trying to take the leap of faith, are we? Oh, hey, Jude. What's up, Lakeside boy? Glad you guys are liking it. Man, just because it's the top doesn't mean all of you have to take the leap of faith. Ay, caramba. It's like everybody just does not want to get on board this train. Alright, on to the next part of the Fontina. And like I said, go slowly when doing it. Right. Like I said, people, Fontina is so soft, it can be messy sometimes. So what we're going to do with this strand, is we're going to place this around the outside. So it layers up nicely. Just as I thought. It takes time to get used to it, folks. Say, wait a minute. Is that who I think it is over in chat? Well, Myra Queen, Sierra, how are you? Hold up a second here. I'm gonna need to get all of you over here. Alright, now I can look at chat and work at the same time. Oh, birthday! Hope you enjoyed it. Alright. Back on we go. I'm telling you folks, these things are genius. And now for the final thing of Asiago for this cut. We spread that out a little bit. Oh really? You don't say, Sierra. That's cool. There we go. Nice little sheet in there, can put that on the side. We're still going to open this thing up, make sure that everything is clear. Alright, cool. Like I said, clean counter, grab the scraps of cheese that you left. Oh no, you don't. Okay, and now we're going to grab the final cheese. Yeah, just keep working, Sierra. I've seen how fast your channel has been able to grow. So we'll take the 5-cheese Italian and we'll just lightly sprinkle around the top. You want to try and use this sparingly in order to make it to all 4 of the dishes. Now, we'll put on the sesame seeds. One final time for this dish. And now we're going to open the breadcrumbs. Smells great. Alright, and now you take the breadcrumbs and you just sprinkle them across. Remember, you don't, with breadcrumbs are crunchy. They bring a crunch to this. But you don't want to do it so much that it overpowers it. And when you're working towards the edges, make sure that you have one hand here so in case any try to roll off, you have it there. Okay. And this time around, folks, we're going to try a little something extra. We're going to try some of this. We're going to do a little bit of Parmesan garlic seasoning. My parents got me this for Christmas. Oh man, is it good. Just going to do a light zest here. Alright, so that is dish 1 done. We're just going to move this out of the way and we're going to move to the next ones. Okay, even some of the cheese decided to get in this dish. Alright. Moving on with more of the noodles. Now do remember, with these small dishes, you're only going to be able to get about 2 layers each. So with this, also make sure you do less butter too. Like so. Grab our salt. And let's start going at it with the cheese. Yeah, that is true. Mac and cheese and pizza are some of those great easy dishes that you can just do anytime you want. Okay, now for these, you can use less of each of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this and I'm actually going to cut it up some more. Now put it in a thing and we'll start grinding. There we go. Yeah, life tends to be busy like that, Sierra. That's why I was saying, if you don't get used to it now, you'll never get used to it. Alright, now we'll move back with the Asiago. And we're also going to cut this in half as well. There we go. Okay, that wasn't my smoothest move, that, I will admit. There you are. Little sneak. Alright, and we'll add the sesame. Looking great. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Sierra. We'll have to see. Anyway, let's move on with more of these noodles. Yeah, it looks like we're definitely going to need that last pan like I thought. Call that the intuition of it. Alright. Butter's all set. Let's grab that salt. Alrighty, and then we move on with the final layer of this. last one here. Up the fontina for this one. It's got a little bit mushy here. There we are. That's that part of it. As I thought. Now for the last part of the Asiago, for this one that is. All right. Clear everything out. Biggest thing you want to do, folks, when you're doing this is you want to make sure that you clear out everything that you can, because if you don't, you're going to be cleaning this out quite a bit afterwards. Alright, so that's done. We'll now hit it with the Italian 5 cheese. Second. All right. Add those sesame seeds. Add those breadcrumbs. And finally, that Parmesan garlic. Alright, there's number 2 for you. Now we get to move on to number 3. finishing up the butter from this stick. Grab that salt. All right. Well, Sierra, I should have you know, I do have a video on my channel about this cooking, so if you want to make it for yourself, feel free to go over and watch it. I can guarantee you won't be disappointed. Now we're just going to cut up more of the fontina. Cut up half for that and half for this. Go it slow. Go it slow. Okay. Go. Clean out all the little miscreants that tried to escape. There we go. Oh. Getting all mixed up. And now for the Asiago. Okay. There we go. Go. Now for the sesame. Gonna move on with the next noodles. Okay. Now it's time to open the next stick of butter for this. There we are. Go, cheddar. Bring on the mutts. I don't know why I just decided to squish the cheese there for whatever reason. Whoops. Slippery fingers here, that's for sure. Go. Last part of the Asiago for this one. Now for that 5-cheese Italian blend. To top it all off. And those lovely sesame seeds. And those breadcrumbs. Mm-mm-mm. Alright. And that Parmesan garlic seasoning. And there we are for this one. And now it's time for the last dish. Here we go. Looks like we're just going to have enough for one layer in this one, which is fine. Sometimes that happens. Alright. And then for this one, because it's so big, you're going to want to do at least 5 slices of butter. Oh! Yeah, look at that, chat. Giant chunk of cheddar we'll have to grind up. Well, that is the end of that bag of cheddar. Well then, let's grind up this cheddar here, shall we? Grab the mozzarella for this. Those bags and toss them out. Now we've got all of this to grind up, so we will do just that. We'll actually start with the Asiago for this one. We don't let any of this cheese go to waste. Oh my. What happened here? Alright, let's take care of that. Now we'll move on to the Fontina. Immediately put the next one in, just so we can continue. Wonder what could be going on in there. Clean off the loose bits that you can. Ugh. Wow. It's almost like it turned back into a solid block. Now that's actually kind of funny. Right? One more thing to grind up. And let's get it ground up, shall we? So this will probably be the last time we use this during this stream. Ugh. Yep, basically did the same thing. No matter. And let's finish it off with that last bit of the 5-cheese Italian blend. We'll toss this bag out. Grab on those sesame seeds one more time. And the breadcrumbs. Make sure everything is set here. Da-da-da-da. Grab that Parmesan garlic. And now we can start putting things away before anything else. Move things to be washed to the sink. Alright, now before anything else, we'll just clear off all of the scraps here. And from this point, we will take the gloves off. Alright. Salt can go away too. And now, for those who didn't pay attention to the video, I'll show you this. This is the final part of the ingredients that you add. You have to make sure that you add the milk, preferably 1%, or whatever you go by. And in the bottom of these dishes, you make sure that the amount that you add is no thicker than about the width of your thumb. You don't want to have too much milk because then it doesn't set right. Let that soak to the bottom. Alright, that looks set. With these ones you can do a little bit less, just because they're smaller. Alright. Good. And for the final one, check each side. All right. I'll put the milk away. Alright, chat, so basically, every single one of these is ready to go in the oven. We're going to switch it up and we're going to move to a different viewpoint here. Coming off the stand here, pardon the vibrations. Okay, so big thing, as you know, oven must be at bake for 350 degrees. And make sure you are careful when opening the oven. Always make sure you clear it first before you even start it. And if somebody is in the room with you, you say, opening the oven. All right. We are ready to load this baby. Cook for about 45 minutes to 1 hour, but make sure you keep an eye on it because you want it to turn a nice golden brown. But you don't want it to become too cooked because then it's not going to either taste right or the texture is going to be a little bit rigid or mushy, depending on what you decide to, well, what you decide to do with your recipes. So, ladies and gentlemen, considering that there weren't that many people in chat, I'm going to call it quits here. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream and seeing me cook. I hope you guys check out the video that I made a couple of years ago on this same subject. And maybe I might consider doing a Q&A session another time. It's probably bad timing because I only announced this morning. But yeah, this is from me. Hope you guys enjoy your Lenten season with your meatless dishes on Fridays. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys will get a chance to cook some of this in your lifetime. I know I love doing it at least once a year. But then again, I love cheese, so that's kind of obvious. And well, yeah, that's basically I got it. And make sure when you are done with all of this, you clean the counter, you clean your dishes off, you make sure everything is set up. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed, and you all take care with your Lenten season. Catch ya.